What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to go over my top 5 predictions for reveals / announcements at tomorrow's State of Play. So I did this before. I did this with the last State of Play. Honestly, I don't even know my track record on it. I assume it's not very good, but I do love making these kind of videos. So these are going to be ranked. This is going to go kind of from, and this is a mix of what I personally want and also what I'm predicting. So it's kind of a prediction video, kind of what I want to see at this event thing. So let's go over really quickly what we know. We know this is going to be focused on PS4 games pretty heavily, PSVR games, and also the PS5 games, or some of the PS5 games that we saw, smaller ones like indie ones that we saw at the reveal. So again, try to keep all expectations kind of in line. We know there could potentially be a PS5, another State of Play maybe later in the month, maybe early September. We'll talk about that as we get close, and we'll, obviously I'm going to be covering this State of Play as well. So let's get into it, and let's see how many I get right when all is said and done. Number 5, I think they will announce, or at least mention, that The Last of Us Part 2 and Ghost of Tsushima will have a next-gen version. So this has been something that I've been talking about / kind of promoting, right, ever since Ghost of Tsushima and The Last of Us came out. I think it's a slam dunk that eventually we will get next-gen versions for these games. Now, again, just to clarify for those, maybe this is the first time you're watching, I don't mean backwards compatibility. We know we can play these games, right? If you own these games on PS4, you'll be able to play them on PS5, right? But I mean, like, having a PS5, having the free upgrade. So what I mean by this one is they'll either come right out, and again, this is a hope / a prediction, they'd either come right out and say, hey, you're going to get, like, we're working on a PS5 version, like, it's going to look incredible, we're going to add all these different things. They could mention that because technically, I guess the caveat is, well, they're talking about a PS4 game, but they're talking about it for PS5. And also they said there's going to be no big PS5 announcements. I guess it's where you set your expectations. Would that be a big PS5 announcement to some? I don't know. Does that mean price, release date, pre-order, stuff like that? That could be the big announcements that they're saying, hey, don't expect it. But they could do that. They could also say, if they want to gloat, which Sony and Microsoft does it too, right? They always kind of talk about how good their products have done recently. They could talk about how, hey, we just got through the, because they haven't talked since Ghost of Tsushima, right? So they could say, hey, we just got through the summer. We just had The Last of Us Part 2. You saw the sales numbers. It's insane. We saw Ghost of Tsushima. That was insane for a brand new IP. Now you can look forward, and we're going to guarantee that you're going to get the free upgrade to these games when they come to PS5. So again, they don't have to make a big deal out of it. They can just say, hey, they're going to be coming. There's going to be a next-gen version, and you'll get the free upgrade if you've already bought it. Pretty darn simple, just something to throw in there. Again, they could use it to gloat about the summer they've had with their games, right? Why wouldn't you do something like that? And I think go from there. The fourth thing is some sort, and now I'm going to try to be open with these because I want to get these right, but I'm going to try and go into more specifics as we talk about it. A Crash announcement, a Crash Bandicoot 4 announcement. So I know a lot of people have been saying I think it could be a character, and I agree with that. I really do think, because we know based off of PlayStation Network that you can play like 2 to 4 players online or something, so there's going to be more characters than just Coco, Crash, and Cortex, so they have to add some. So we'll see. I feel like, again, this is a pretty good spot. It's a PS4 game, obviously an Xbox game as well, right? But on current gen, and that's what we have to think about with this kind of list, right, is what games are still coming out, right? We have Avengers, we have Cyberpunk, we have Assassin's Creed, Watch. I mean, you can keep going down the list. These are the games that I feel like are the only ones really that they're going to be able to talk about if they're serious that, hey, we're only going to focus on PS4 games, PSVR games. Honestly, I really don't know what they're doing with VR. We'll have to see. I don't have that even on my list. But for Crash, I feel like it could be an additional character. Here's somebody else that you can actually play as in this game. Hope so, because I love Crash. I really want to play this game. Only 3 months away at this point, so again, it makes a lot of sense. Third one, and I want to be very careful with this one, and I'm barely going to talk about it, honestly, because Activision sucks with this kind of stuff. If you notice, they took down my video on Call of Duty, a new Call of Duty game. That's pretty much it. Probably this new Call of Duty game will be shown at this State of Play. That's what I'm going to leave it at now because I'm kind of scared for my channel at this point. So we're going to leave it there. Number 2 is Spider-Man in Marvel's Avengers. So, and I've seen this, right? I've seen this on our Discord. We've had different discussions on this. It is weird timing, isn't it? That Monday, and it's pretty funny in my opinion, right? We had IGN, literally IGN, published a story Monday morning that, hey, it's bogus, it's fake news, right? There's no way it's true. And then all of a sudden, literally like an hour later, it was confirmed. So it's like, how can you really trust IGN? How can you really trust these publications that say, oh, we interviewed the person that was responsible? And I get it. It was that person too, or was that base.com or whatever that thing was? Like they are responsible too because they just flat out lied to IGN and IGN lied to us. But like it's just funny how that all worked, right? So we had all of that, and then obviously Spider-Man was announced. So pretty much the where I'm trying to go with this one is, could they show the trailer? Hawkeye's was like a minute long, maybe, right? It was maybe slightly more than a minute long. So it's not like, and because they know, because they've already shown us like, hey, this is kind of the inspiration we're taking for Spider-Man, I'm sure they got something. Like they probably could have had a trailer for it. It's just weird that they have the announcement literally 4 days before a state of play, right after a War Table event, right? Because we just had the War Table. Yes, the beta starts Friday, so maybe they were trying to line it up with like, hey, let's get people pumped about the beta, especially because this week you can only play it on PlayStation, right? Only if you pre-order it on PlayStation can you play the beta. So maybe they looked at it that way, where it's like, okay, well, let's pump it up. And who knows? I mean, I guess you can maybe change this one specifically to maybe they just have a Avengers trailer. Maybe they talk about the beta again, just kind of throw that in like, hey, just remember, like, you can only play the beta this weekend on PlayStation. You know what I mean? So, I mean, there are different ways of doing it, but I wouldn't be shocked. I would kind of be surprised, maybe, because it does seem like maybe they don't have anything for Spider-Man, but at the same time, maybe they do. And if they had a trailer, a Spider-Man trailer for Marvel's Avengers, I think that would be a pretty cool thing to include in this state of play. And number one, Kenna Bridge of Spirits. Anything for Kenna Bridge of Spirits. You guys know at this point, I'm sure you guys will continue to know as the months progress, how high I am on this game. There's games like Windbound, Everwild, this game, Kenna Bridge of Spirits. These are some of my most anticipated, honestly, games that are releasing. And obviously I have a lot of other games that I really am going to enjoy when they come out, but something with Kenna Bridge of Spirits. Now this one I feel like is easily the most likely out of maybe every single one I put, because at the end of the day, they said we're going to check in on some of the PS5 games, the indie games that we saw at the reveal event. Kenna was there. It is coming out on PS4 and PS5. It's a console exclusive. I think it also comes on PC, and it said holiday 2020. So this is probably a launch game. When the PS5 releases, this game probably will already be out. You know what I mean? Maybe it comes out early November. You can get it for PS4. You'll get the free upgrade for PS5, or you could just wait, right? And then 2 weeks later, whatever, PS5 comes out, and there it is. So, I think it makes a lot of sense. It's obviously a game that they had enough confidence because they showed it. It actually, I believe it was like, the 5th or 6th most viewed trailer off of the PS5 reveal. Like, Miles Morales was one, Horizon Forbidden West. You can go down the line, but I'm pretty sure Kenna was like number 5 at like 2.2 million views or something, which is outstanding for, it's a small game. This is a small studio. This is a smaller game, but they had confidence to show it was like a 2.5 minute trailer. People obviously really, really liked it. People really watched it. It fits all of the criteria of what they said they're going to talk about at this state of play. Launch game. Because at the end of the day, you can talk about PS4 and PSVR games as much as you want. The PS5 is coming out in like 3 months at this point, 4 months at this point. So you gotta talk about the launch games. Like, we know Miles Morales, we know Kenna, but we don't. We actually don't, because we don't know the release date. We don't know what they look like in terms of the actual game. So they do have more stuff to show. Obviously, I would love Miles Morales. I would love additional stuff, but I don't think that's going to be there. If you guys really like this video, it's possible for me to make a video on things that I don't think will be there. Maybe that could be like tomorrow morning leading into the event. Let me know if you guys want that in the comments. And as always, let me know what you guys think about this video. What are some things you think are going to be at this state of play? Again, smaller state of play, maybe slightly disappointing, but that doesn't mean that it can't be a good show. I think if they showed like 3 or 4 things, even of my top 5, I think it would be actually a really, really solid show. And these are things that I just threw together, and I'm not the most creative person in the world, right? So I'm sure they can come up with some pretty cool things. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure, as always, you guys are subscribed, have the bell icon turned on. I'll be watching State of Play, as it's going. I'll be having videos right afterwards, probably 2 right after, talking about whatever big thing that it's there. So lots of State of Play stuff coming to you guys in the next few days, okay? Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all there.